Aqua Mate. I'm here to be in your native Australian video from Aqua Mate.
But we've already had you in an episode before, haven't we, Crocodile? Oh no, I think the memo went out wrong. We've got crocodiles lining up for the Australian native video. Sorry fellas, but it's not about you today. So today we are going to move the honey blue eyes into the nano escape tank. I know it's not finished yet, but it's getting there, and we've already tested it out. We've got some shrimp in there, and we'll continue to propagate the Bacopa moneri, and we've added some Amazon swords as well. So I'm going to go and get the honey blue eyes out, and we're going to have a look at them when they get in there. What I'll do, because the pH in this tank, having the fluvial stratum substrate, drops the pH probably about 1. So it's about 6 in there, and it's about 6.87 in the honey blue eyes tank right now. So what we'll do is we're going to drip acclimate them. I don't have a proper setup for that, so I'll just be slowly adding water to a bucket with the honey blue eyes to really acclimate them properly, and then we'll take a look at them in there. I think they're going to do really well in there. So this is where the honey blue eyes have been living the whole time, and we're going to redo this whole tank. It hasn't quite evolved the way that I wanted. It's gone through so many transformations. You can see the honey blue eye.
Right about there. They're all going up there.
Yeah, that's right. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And they like... They are, aren't they, Harry?
Yeah.
They really like living with the tetras, but I think they need their own space.
And there's also Pacific blue eyes, which are in the other tank.
You got sauce on your face. So what I'll do is I'll put some water into this bucket. I will catch these guys, and then we'll start the acclimating process. Temperature wise, the tanks are basically the same. I'm just going to take a cup and just slowly add that with them, and then I'm going to net them out and put them into their new home. Can you see the type of shrimp that we chose? He's hiding back there. We'll do a video on those guys too. So I'm going to put them in, I'm going to let them settle in for a week or two, then I'll do another propagation of these, and I'm just going to keep going and keep evolving this tank. You can see that pothos growing out of the Grabensis fry tank is doing pretty well too. Alright, they've been sitting in there for 2 hours. I'm going to drop my phone. Oh. They've been sitting there for 2 hours. Tank's ready. They're acclimated. I'm going to grab them out, pop them in, and let's see how they go.
The honey blue eye, Pseudomogul mellis. They're from the Noosa River drainage system north of Tin Can Bay. There's also a population on Fraser Island. We've recently discovered outlying populations in lakes and at the northern end of Dismal Swamp, south of Shoalwater Bay, Queensland. The species has been reported in about 18 locations and on both the mainland and Fraser Island, with most populations totally isolated from one another. The species remains abundant in the Noosa River, Tin Can Bay creeks and Fraser Island localities. Studies indicate the population fluctuations of this species in mainland streams is associated with floods flushing large numbers of fish into new streams and new areas. Small breeding populations are being maintained in captivity, and the species is also popular with the native fish enthusiasts for their home aquariums. The honey blue eyes prefer a slightly acidic,
pH ranging from 4.4 to 6.8 in clear and tannin-stained lakes, streams and wetlands. The species usually occurs when there's little to no flow and fish can find shelter in dense aquatic vegetation. The annual rainfall of the species' habitats is approximately 1,000 to 1,800 millimeters per annum. To put that into perspective, where I live at the moment, the total rainfall is around 350 mil, and we're almost at the end of the year. Studies have shown breeding behaviour for honey blue eyes are that the males exhibit territorial behaviour throughout the year, guarding vegetated sites from other intruding males of the same species. The territorial behaviour only occurs at the onset of the breeding season in September. Spawning takes place within vegetation with females laying between 40 to 125 eggs, with the male's territory over a period of about 1 week, with 1 to 4 eggs being laid at each time. Females then rest in the female-only schools. Observations of the species' territorial behaviour during spawning and the seasonal catches of the fish in each maturity class indicate that the honey blue eyes begin to spawn in the wild as early as September and October, and most members of the population cease to spawn by January or February. Spawning occurs at temperatures in the range of 26 to 28 degrees, keeping in mind that we are in Australia and it is a native Australian fish, so that is generally spring to summer. Eggs adhere to plants or plant material, and they hatch after about 12 to 14 days. After spawning at a constant water temperature of 24 degrees, a slightly elevated water temperatures of 25 to 27 degrees, eggs will hatch. When the young hatch, they are initially surface feeders, but eventually move to the middle or the bottom of the water column. Growth is rapid and sexual maturity is obtained by 10 to 12 months of age. Aquarium reared fish first spawn upon reaching a length of 20 millimeters when they are around 95 days old. Females larger than 20 millimeters begin to spawn when their water temperatures reach around 28 degrees. In the wild, the honey blue eyes form schools of up to 30 individuals and move amongst emergent vegetation in search for food. The species is a generalist feeder, feeding on flies, insect larvae and small crustaceans, and also eats large quantities of algae. Formerly considered to be a colour variant of the Pacific blue eyes, the honey blue eye differs in size, reaching a total of about 3.8 centimeters as opposed to 8.8 centimeters for a male and 6.3 centimeters for a female Pacific blue eye. In the colouring, the Pacific blue eye having a semi-transparent body that can vary in colour from pale olive yellow to bluish. There is often also a series of pearly spots along the side of the body of a Pacific blue eye. Both fish have blue eyes. The honey blue eyes are an endangered species, and their threats include habitat clearing or degradation for residential, forestry, agricultural developments and recreational activities. Another large reason for their endangerment is the introduced species of Gambusha mosquito fish. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that little insight into an Australian native endangered species. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to smack that like button. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. There's plenty more where that came from. If you're getting new fish, remember to always acclimate them first. I'm Josh from Aqua Mate. I'll see you in the next video.